Good evening, folks. It's Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Today is Primary Tuesday.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Who will win? Who will win? Primary Tuesday, Election 2023. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. There you see the candidates that are running for office here in the city of Yonkers. Primary today. And the one that everyone's watching. Corazon Pineda Isaac there, running for mayor against incumbent Mike Spano. And Reverend Margaret Fountain Coleman, who's new to politics here in the city of Yonkers, not new to politics, right? Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I just wanted to talk about, just go over this, give a little recap of the races that are going on tonight, who's running. There you go, Margaret Fountain Coleman. If you didn't get to see the interview, you should. I think you'd like to, or you like what she had to say. She made a lot of great points in regards to education as well as crime. So if you didn't see that, check it out. There goes Ron Chute. He's a Republican. He's running against Mike Breen in the Republican primary for District 5. But the one that everyone's talking about, the mayor's race, Corazon Pineda Isaac, Councilwoman from District 2, who for most of her career, up until very recently, was a part of the Spano team. I think we can all say that, right? Confidently. Not anything that's a secret. The Spanos have, and I say the Spanos, have largely supported her, have run her fundraisers, her campaigns, and as a result, she has been successful. She has won her elections, right? But she's now gone out on a limb, and she decided to run against Mayor Mike Spano, who was allowed to run for a fourth term as a result of legislation introduced by Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, the city council president, and passed by the entire, well, not the entire council. Corazon and Moranti voted no. So here she is. Tonight's the night. We're going to know if Corazon Pineda Isaac will advance to the general election and face off against Republican Anthony Moranti, or will it be someone else? Will it be Reverend Margaret Coleman? Had her on the show yesterday, and I think, I think she could do good. I just think that she needed more exposure. That's just my opinion. I think she needed to be out there more. I don't think enough people knew who she was. I think that she should make her campaign in the future if she, moves advance or maybe doesn't and decides to run for another office, at another election, to really make it, I think, more mainstream. Just reach out as many people. Maybe she was and her team were out there, though. Again, I got to say congratulations to her team and Reverend Margaret Fountain Coleman, because they were able to get on the ballot and stayed on the ballot, right? Although the Spano administration did not challenge Reverend Coleman. They didn't challenge her. The only ones that did were the only ones who had a reason to. The only ones who would benefit from seeing Margaret Fountain Coleman off the ballot is Corazon and her team, right? They're the only ones that would benefit. The reason why the Spanos did not challenge Coleman's signatures is because they wanted her in the race. They wanted her in there because they knew that it would split the vote. It would split the vote between Coleman and Isaac, who you see there on the screen. And so I asked her about that. I said, were you concerned with that? I learned about that very early on, and people were saying the more people in the race, the better it is for Spano because everyone else will split the vote. And so I asked her about it. She said that she, did consider that. However, she was in it. She was confident, and she was already, had hit the go button. So she was moving forward with it, and she has been working hard, and her team has been working hard. So again, congratulations, they got on the ballot, and they managed to stay on even when Corazon's people challenged her. So will Margaret Coleman advance, and will she face off against Anthony Moranti, the Republican? Or will it be the incumbent, Mayor Mike Spano, once again winning a Democratic primary for the fourth time? And will he then go and face off against Anthony Moranti? That's going to be an interesting race if that is the case. And from my sources, things are looking good for Spano as of now. However, there is, as we've expected, a low voter turnout. The rain didn't help, but it's gotten a lot better. My wife just went out there to go vote. When she gets back, I'm going to go out. But if you haven't gone out, you have till 9 o'clock. So make sure you go. Make sure you vote. Regardless of how you feel, whether you think that you will make a difference or not, you have to go and vote. Because I did. I considered that. I said, I don't know what to do here. I mean, I'm really in an awkward position because who do I vote for? Who do I vote for? What do you guys suggest? I mean, do you think if I vote for someone other than Spano, then I'm going to have a problem? Do you think if I vote for Spano, that will help me in some way? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to help the community. I'm trying to make the best possible decisions for our city, but I don't know. So will it be Mayor Mike Spano? Honestly, my strong opinion, just to be quite honest, I truly, genuinely believe that Mayor Spano will advance to the general election. He will be facing off Anthony Moranti, and I think Anthony Moranti may also have that same feeling as he's been already going after Mayor Spano. As you know, he's been pushing for a term limit to be put on the ballot, the referendum. He's gone out there with signatures. He has put out signs that say restore term limits. So anyone who is supporting Moranti also has a sign that says restore term limits. And I've been looking into this term limit thing. And, experts say that term limits are not a good thing. And I'm not saying that I am in support of not having term limits. I'm just telling you what I read, and I'm going to show that here in a little bit. And, we'll talk about why. I mean, they kind of make good points, but, I also understand why there is a need for term limits. There's a lot of great points with that as well, but I want to go over that. But again, that's the mayor's race. You have the incumbent, Mayor Mike Spano. A lot of signs out there for Spano. Lots of signs out there for Mayor Mike Spano. I know the team, the system, the machine was out there in full force. They're making sure they leave no stone unturned. They're not leaving anything to chance. They're not taking this race lightly. They are not underestimating this at all. So I know they were out there strong. I'm sure Corazon Pineda Isaac's team was out there as well. And I'm sure Reverend Margaret Fountain Coleman as well. But I have, again, strong feeling that we will be seeing Mayor Spano and Anthony Moranti. It just got to give my honest opinion. He's been buying support with government positions for 12 years, so sure, it's his to lose. We've talked about it, right? We've talked about the reasons why, there should be term limits. I mean, among other things, right? But let's talk about that, right? The fact that he's an incumbent, he's been there for 9 years. No, 9 years, 12 years, right? 12 years. He's established himself. He's established relationships. He's got big donors, big funders, just the type that the other candidates just don't have, right? And they had, Corazon had at one point, right? When she was a part of that machine, right? She had the donors, but not so much anymore. So that makes it difficult. The amount of money, and as you may remember if you watched yesterday's podcast, he has outspent his competitors or his opponents, tenfold, right? He's $600,000 to Corazon's $70,000, $67,000 to Coleman's $12,000, right? And Coleman did have to spend money on, challenge the petition challenge, right? But he has outspent them. He has a lot of people who are going to vote for him because of one reason or another, reason that they, may have benefited, something that they have, received possibly maybe a job, maybe a favor somehow, some way. So you're going to have that group of people. You're going to have a large group of family members that are, I mean, the Spanos are a large family in itself, right? That's like 100 votes right there, right? Guaranteed, right? So you have the family, you have the friends. We know about the family, the friends network. They're going to be out there and they're committed to voting. This is their business, right? This is what they do. Every election, this is what they do. We see them, same individuals, right? The Wilson Terreros, right? The Lorraine Lopez's, and look, I wanted to talk about this real quick. When John Cater said, "Freddie, you attack community people. That's why people won't share your." No. I'm not talking about the people that I speak about. And he's referring to like the Lorraine Lopez's and the Wilson Terreros. That's fine. I know they're not going to share, and I know that they don't like me. Well, I don't know. Lorraine was nice to me the last time. She just didn't talk to me really, but she was nice. And so they are part of the problem, right, John? So, if you're watching, that's the reason why I mentioned them. You have Lorraine Lopez and others that go out and get petition signatures. They're part of the machine, a part of the structure, a part of the infrastructure, right? I also like a gentleman like Jose Roman. Right? He ran against Corazon, actually, but I think that was just to clog up the line. He didn't really want to win. It's one of those things, right? He's a Hispanic, but right. So that's what I mean. And then, of course, Alberto Velasquez, the CSCA president. Many of the CSCA members have complained to me, to others on the podcast, in person. And he's not, supporting the people, right? He's supporting the establishment. And so these are the people that I speak about that, they cause problems for you want to change, then you have to address these individuals because they're the ones that are helping, the same old continue. They're helping the administration. They are 1000% loyal to the administration. And that's why I just mentioned it, just so that people know, right? So a lot of people, especially in those communities, the communities that Lorraine Lopez will, she'll go into to get petition signatures to go in, with the church over there on Elliott. And the people in that community, they want change. A lot of them, they want to see something different. They say that they need improvements in their communities. They need jobs. The schools need to be improved, right? But that's not what Lorraine Lopez is, helping them do. She's not working with them to help change. She's actually, guiding them right back to where we've been, right? So, that's why I call it out. So, it's important that, we understand this because they play a vital role in these elections. The petition part of this is a big part of the elections, right? That's how the candidate gets on the ballot. So that's the beginning of it. And that's very difficult to go out and knock on doors and get X amount of signatures and legitimate signatures that are going to, pass the test of, someone's challenge, or be able to meet someone's challenge. And then you have to spend the money to hire attorneys to go and defend that, right? So that's a big part of it. And so when you have people like a Lorraine and like Wilson Terrero, like a Jose Roman, and all these other individuals that you'll see on the petitions supporting and a part of this machine, I mean, come on, who really has a chance unless you're able to conjure up that type of that type of support and build that type of infrastructure. But most of the people are already taken, right? So, I mean, how do you do that? So that's why I mentioned them. That's why I say that it's important. They impact. If they're getting, Jose Roman and his people, is it Jose Roman, I believe, and his people, you should see how many signatures they got. How did they get that many signatures? Like, I would like to know, how did you secure that many signatures, Jose? I mean, and the ink in that pen did not run out unless you had the same pen, a few of the same pens. And, and all the people that sign your petitions, Jose, let me tell you, they're very dramatic with their writing. They almost is like it was, the same 5 people. That's just what I think. That's just what it looks like. But I'm not saying that's what it is. But anyway, that's what I talk about. That's what I mean. So you have the mayor's race. We'll see what happens. You also have this gentleman here, Westchester County Legislator Christopher Johnson, facing off this woman here. Well, the one that was before, Shanae Williams. Shanae Williams currently is the councilwoman for District 1. Isn't she pretty? Look at that hair. Look at that. Nicely done, right? What has Shanae Williams truly done for the district that has been gentrified the most here in the city of Yonkers? A Jamaican immigrant. What has she done for District 1, a community that is largely African American and Hispanic, largely impoverished, and is largely being gentrified? What has she done? Williams will lose tonight. You know, my opinion, if I'm looking to see what's best for the county, I guess, or the District 16 that is in here in Yonkers, that does encompass Yonkers only. I would go with Chris Johnson. That's just my opinion. That's just how I see it. You can do what you want. Just make sure you are informed, right? Think about this. What has Shanae Williams truly done to impact District 1 in a positive way? You could, if you're happy with Lionsgate, if you're happy with all the developments, and that wasn't really her, I mean, she's just there. But if you're happy with that, right, then I guess okay. But most people are not. A lot of the people in that community, both renters and homeowners, are upset about the developments that are being built there. Many have come out to rally against the 232-story towers that they want to place on Woodworth. What has Shanae done? Has she been a loud voice for the people in that community, for the homeowners, and even the those that are renting in that community who do not want to see this huge development go up on their narrow street there in Woodworth? An area that's already seen a lot of development, that has seen a lot of traffic and congestion. What has she done? Has she been yelling from the rooftops for you guys? This is my district. These are my constituents. We're not going to have that. And I'm letting you know, developers. Has she done that for you? No. So why would you then vote for her to be your county legislator? It wouldn't make sense. Now you can say, well, what has Chris Johnson done? I can tell you that he has helped me in situations. And yes, that's my personal experience. But if you push hard enough, Chris Johnson will help. Shanae Williams, not so much. Not so much in my experience and in the experience of others. So I would go with Chris Johnson. That's just my opinion. Again, Shanae Williams is playing the game. She's about her advancement and what she can get out of it. Not saying that Chris Johnson may not be that way as well, but Shanae makes it so damn obvious, right? And so I think it's time that Shanae, you go into the private sector, right? Go into the private sector. Be all about yourself. So there you have it. That's the race for County Legislator District 16. Not to keep going from the county to the city, but back to the city. District 1, speaking of District 1, where Shanae currently represents, you have Shatika Parker, Deanna Robinson, you see there. And you have, who else is running in District 1? Is it Iffy Phillips? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All I hear is Deanna Robinson and Shatika Parker. So, those are the ones that are really getting, notoriety. They're the ones that are getting the attention. I think Shatika Parker is getting a lot of attention. Shatika Parker is intelligent, very well spoken. She is very thoughtful in her, with her words. She understands a lot of the issues, specifically in District 1. I think she cares about the people in District 1. I think she would fight for people in District 1 who did not want to see a particular development go up in front of their homes. I think she would be able to articulate that message a hell of a lot better than what you guys have now. I'm just saying. Just my opinion. Remember, as I said before, almost all of the development is on the southwest side, northwest side, which is already congested, not on the east side where the mayor lives. Sound familiar? Well, the DSEC lawsuit, absolutely. And when you really think about it, they've never really fully satisfied, right, the judge's ruling, right, and what they had to do in terms of the desegregation case. They didn't, and they are being largely, kept on the southwest and northwest sides. And in fact, not just, in the southwest, but in a particular area, which includes this Woodworth, Warburton area, the corridor where I was actually at earlier this morning. You see a lot of the low income and the affordable housing kind of being pushed up that way, like in the Beach and Orchard Street, right? They're being kept over there, the Elm Streets and the Nodine Hill section. So I'm imagining that that's the area they really want to keep those that are at or below the poverty line, right? That's where they want to keep, which is largely Hispanic and Blacks and a lot of migrants that are coming here now from everywhere in the world, right? And so we're seeing this uptick. And that's another thing I think that we have to really talk about. I think that our officials are not doing a good job in, helping us understand what's going on, right? Many people are concerned about what they see on Nepperhan. You guys see the mobile home looking things over there? I got a source that reached out to me. I believe it was today or yesterday. This individual's inside. Not all the way. He may not know for a fact, but, will know more information than most people. And that person was saying that possibly they are for the migrants. But I was told by someone who was inside also, and that they were telling me those are parts for the senior home that are going up on Mulberry Street, which if you look at the way they're building that senior development over there on Mulberry Street, I can see them doing that. I can see them having prefabricated parts and then coming in and then putting them in the way that it's going up. They did all the cement parts and the stairwell, right? And so it looks almost like a Lego piece and they're going to put it together. But I don't want to say that's 100% true. I just, at least our elected officials, and this is what I'm saying, our elected officials should at least say, hey, community, this is what this is, guys, right? People are talking. People are angry about having, migrants being bused here to begin with. And I understand. I feel bad. I do. I feel bad because they're kids and they're women. From a human point, I feel bad. But I also understand, the logistics of it, the problems that it brings to the city of Yonkers, right? We're already overcrowded. We're already congested. Our schools are already over capacity by over 4,000 seats. And so now you're adding more children to the school district. They are going to have to be provided certain services, such as therapeutic services, housing, right? Food, clothing, and that's going to come from the taxpayers. And so taxpayers are upset. And I understand, and it's true, because we have issues here that are very much similar to the ones that the migrants are facing, right? We have homeless Americans here. We have people who are in need of affordable housing, people who are leaving the city of Yonkers because they can't afford to live here. And then they're busing people, migrants from another country to Yonkers and then providing housing for them. That's got to, come on. That's messed up. I'm from Yonkers. I'm born and raised here, right? And then I have to leave because I can't afford to live here anymore. Developments are causing prices to go up. And here they are busing migrants into Yonkers, providing them with free hotel stay until they give them a free mobile home. They're going to give them food. They're going to provide education for their children, along with any therapeutic services such as speech, right? Counseling, whatever other services they may need, mental health that they have. They may be kids who need special education, which is another issue that we have within our school district. Reverend Margaret Coleman, who is a special education teacher, was talking about it, right? So here are many challenges that we are going to have to now address, right, or have to deal with, aside from the ones we already have here. So, a lot of people are upset, and I get it. And so our elected officials are not mentioning this at all. What is the end goal? What is the plan here? Are we going to see our streets look like the streets in many other cities? Have you guys seen the video that I posted up of, communities in California, in Texas, El Paso, where migrants are just lined up all along buildings and on the sidewalks? They're basically just camping out all along the sidewalks, around buildings, around blocks. You can't even really walk through the sidewalks. You can't enter a business. Some have tents. Some are just laid out on the floor. I mean, if you go over to the Nodine Hill section, I mean, we're in the beginning stages of it, folks. I mean, let's just be honest, right? Go to Nodine Hills, go to Elm Street, make a left or right on Linden. You decide. Doesn't matter. And you will see migrants lined up along buildings, long fences there. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. You see them huddled up, right there at the end of Elm and Yonkers Avenue or Nepperhan, right? And they're sharing chicken. I saw them and pouring each other drinks, alcoholic drinks, playing music. They've created an encampment there. And so what is our elected officials doing? And I want to be honest, it's hard for me to want to vote for anybody. Right? Maybe Margaret Coleman, actually. Because if we look at, Mayor Spano, he's in office now, and this is what's happening. This is starting to develop, and it's been, developing for a while now. And how is that, what are they doing to address it? Have they brought this up in any of our city council meetings? No, we talk about zoning changes all the time. We talk about developers and their proposals and what they want to build all the time. Hell, we passed term limit legislation. But what about the migrant camps that are starting to be set up on Linden, Elm Street, all through Nodine Hill? Right? And so Corazon Pineda Isaac, that's her district. That's District 2. If I were representing the city or that district specifically, I would go out there and say, okay, we can't have this. I can't have people lined up along the buildings, along the fence there at the Key Food. And they're going behind the dumpster at the Key Food and using the bathroom. They're defecating behind the dumpster. I was told to go back there to check it out, but I didn't go. I'm not going to go. Not going to want to look at that. But they have nowhere to go. Some of them are asleep. And so what is Corazon Pineda Isaac? What has the mayor, what has any of the city council done? And I know they drive by there. I'm sure they go by on their way up to the Dayspring Community Center, right? To do events. So what's going on? And that's becoming a problem. So they haven't mentioned this to us. People are concerned whether or not those are mobile homes that are being lined up along Nepperhan Avenue to be provided to migrants. I don't know. I'm not too sure that that's what that is. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I guess we'll find out. So, these are things that we have to consider and factor in today. If you've already voted, you've already voted. But if you haven't, here's your chance to factor some of this stuff if you haven't already considered it. But you should have considered it, right? What are they doing in terms of the migrants? The migrant situation on Elm Street over there in Nodine Hill. I mean, we're looking pretty bad over there, folks. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to show you guys a video of how it looks. And I don't like to do those videos because I don't like to video people like that. But I want to show you what I mean, what I'm seeing there, if you don't already know. I mean, you have migrants that obviously coming here. They don't have anywhere to stay. They may be getting work here and there as day laborers, but this is where they pretty much stay all day, and they eat there, they hang out there, they socialize there, they drink there, they listen to their music. So, there's, again, families that live in these areas that I'm sure this is a burden to. Just because you live in that community doesn't mean that you are okay with that. You just have no choice. You're not going to go up to these people and say, yo, y'all got to get the hell up out of here. They're going to look at you like you crazy. They can't do nothing. They're scared, right? So when we talk about Yonkers being the safest big city, maybe if you live, where I live, or where the mayor lives, or where many of our elected officials stay, prominent individuals, but not over in Nodine Hill. That looks like a war zone. That looks like the border. I'm not even trying to be funny. There's prostitution going on over there. I mean, it's blatant. You can see it. Be careful. Don't stop at the Key Food. They might try to, come up to your car. right? So what's going on? What's happening with that? Why aren't our elected officials speaking about it? Specifically, the mayor and Corazon Pineda Isaac. They're running to be mayor, right? So this is what we have to consider, right? And this is just a very real thing. What are we doing to take care of that? Again, there's people in that community. There's a lot of kids in that community, actually. Safest big city for the criminals. It's a lot of kids in that community, no doubt in hell. And they have to see that, walk through that. It was live the other night. The weather was nice. It was maybe about 6, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock probably. And a lot of people were out there. So, I'm going to go show videos, see what's going on. 30 minutes. But yeah, so that's what we have to think about. Tasha Diaz, District 3, she's up for re-election. She doesn't, they got Hector Santiago off the ballot, right? So, I told you how that happened, right? I explained to you how that went down. Zahi Jerris showed up. He sat there, Hector Santiago, and I don't know who his campaign manager is, but whoever he was with, they had no chance. They had no chance. That's like Mike Tyson, getting in the ring with Mike Tyson in his prime, and you've never boxed a day in your life, right? Hell, you never even got in a fight a day in your life before. But here you are. You're going to take on the heavyweight champ of the world, Mike Tyson, right? And I think he's still a force to be reckoned with to this day. But that's what happened. They were in there. Zahi Jerris showed up. Tasha Diaz left. It's like from a movie. They just exchanged the briefcase. Then Tasha leaves. He's there. He sits. He pulls out his pad, right? And he goes through it and got him kicked off the ballot. So Hector Santiago, however, will be in the general election against Tasha Diaz, as he will be on the working party, something like that. Working Families Party, line. And so he'll be in the general election. So he's not out. He's out of the primaries. Hell, who cares, right? But he will be in the general election. So if you want to vote for Hector Santiago, here's your opportunity, there will be your opportunity at that point in time. So Tasha Diaz, she's safe for now. She will be heading out on her vacation tomorrow. I think she's going to the DR, all-inclusive resort over there. Enjoy, Miss Diaz. Have fun. Be careful. Don't go off the resort, all right? I hear it's dangerous. And who else we have? So that's District 3, District 1. We spoke about that. Shatika. Oh, Deanna Robinson. I didn't really mention her too much. Deanna Robinson, who's running it for District 1 council person against Shatika Parker. She is Shanae Williams' aide. She has been involved in city government here for some time now. She has family that's works for the city. Her father is the head of the Veterans Department. So she's very well connected and a part of the administration. So she is the one that Shanae would like to see replace her, right? But no disrespect to Deanna, because I like Deanna Robinson personally. I don't, have an issue with her. I think she's a very cool person, always friendly with me, regardless of what. Always has a smile on her face. So, I just didn't hear as much from her as I did from Shatika. So I'm trying to be unbiased and just be very, much about the data, right? It's all about the information, no emotions involved. And so I just heard a lot more from Shatika. I heard what she had to say. I see her at the meetings a lot. She makes it a point to attend, even when she has to bring her daughter, right? She makes it a point to attend. She makes every effort. And so that shows a lot to me. That shows that she is committed and that she's going to be there and she's going to represent District 1 well if she is elected come November. Again, this is just a primary to see who will be. Wait, is there even I don't even know if there's a Republican actually. If she wins, she wins, right? That's another thing, right? If she wins, she wins. I think the same, well, not the same with Tasha, but many times we see that the primary, the Democratic primary has been the election. It has been the election that is where the campaigns are decided. I'm sorry, where the elections are decided. We know at that point who will be the next whatever it is, right? So what's up with the Republicans? A lot of people have had issues with the Republicans because they have not put candidates in many of these elections. Why not? You have Anthony Moranti. He's running for mayor. You have Ron Schutte and Mike Breen, right? Both of them are running for District 5. Both are Republicans. However, there's no, see, it's like the reverse, but there's a reason, right? There's no Democrat in the race. So why didn't the Democrats have a man in the race for District 5 or a woman? Because technically, Mike Breen is not a Republican. He's really a Democrat. He should have just been on this side, and then you would have seen there would have been no Republican. Well, there would have been Ron at that point. So, and the reason why is because Ron goes against the grain. He's like, I'm not playing that game. I'm going to run. I don't care what the Republican elders say. I didn't make the deals that they made. When I signed up to be a Republican, it was about God, country, and family. Did I say that right? Did I say it in the right order? Something like that, right? That's what it's about. It's not about the deals, the backroom deals. It's not about that. David Tubiolo, no challenger. No one. Giulio Tata attempted to enter politics, but they let him quickly know that doesn't work that way here in Yonkers. You're not going to challenge David Tubiolo. If you want his spot, you can wait in line, and whenever he decides to go elsewhere, then, only then, if you play the game right, will we give you the opportunity to become the next council or say county legislator for that district. But David is there now, so back down. Giulio Tata doesn't back down. And so he proceeded to move forward. And what happened? Somehow they found something that they would have turned into a great scandal if he did not back out. And so whoever is protecting David Tubiolo, keeping this man from having to have anyone challenge him at all. I mean, he doesn't even have to be challenged, let alone, have help in the election to win. Who is doing this? Well, sources and chatter have speculated that his mom, who works at the Board of Elections, may have pulled up Giulio Tata's voting record out in Florida and showed that he had voted in Florida, questioning his residency, which is an illegal thing if you vote in two states within, I guess, a certain amount of time. If you claim residency in one and the other, and then, And so he didn't want to have no legal problems. Nobody wants problems with the law. We don't want no problems with the fuzz. And he backed out. But David Tubiolo got lucky. Let me tell you. David Tubiolo, Justin Tubiolo, and I don't know what his mom's name is. Let me tell you how lucky you guys got. There was a, how do I want to say this? There was a possibility of the potential for information to have come out on David Tubiolo that would have made him look very bad. Very, 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 very bad. I think it might have been worse than this voting thing that they were trying to hit Giulio Tata. But it didn't happen because the individual that could have made it happen didn't want to go that route. Not now. Not yet. So that's why. So I'm just saying, right? So, I mean, there could have been some real, blowback, Dave. You could have got, scorched for that move. But somebody protected you. And you probably don't know. I don't think you do. That's how that went down. So I said it's best. Back down. If you truly want to do this, regroup. Come with a more prepared, more well thought out plan of action, and then proceed. Right now, it's not the best time. So that's the way it went down. So there you have it. Yep, David will be politician for life. in his parents' basements. Yeah, I mean, the kid, he's like one of those, it's like a trust fund baby, right? Type of deal. Your parents pretty much do everything for you. I used to be jealous of that, when I see kids like that, I'm like, why was, we used to call it lucky sperm, right? Because, just got lucky that you ended up in this family. But yeah, so his dad was the former chair of the Republican Party, Justin Tubiolo, still a very well-respected member of the Republican Party, a big influencer within the party, and very close to the administration, for a very long time. David Tubiolo was a Republican. Then he turned coat, and his dad had to step down because, you can't have your son be a Democrat and you're the head of the Republican Party, right? That's a conflict of interest. So he stepped down. However, he's still a big influencer. And, he's been pretty much protected ever since. He doesn't really have anyone challenging him. David Tubiolo's gone from high school to politician, right? Without much work, much effort. They just say, hey, walk up and down McLean and give out proclamations. No, I'm not saying he's a trust fund baby. I'm saying I know that, but I mean, what you're just giving stuff. That's what I mean by that. It's like you're right. It's like that because it's not, right? It's a trust fund is private sector, right? But not necessarily, but yeah, But so he's had it all handed to him, and so and I think that not to I don't want to be knocking. I'm not hating on David at all. I'm definitely not. But how do you, if you don't have real experiences in life, right? How do you lead a community? How is it that you represent a district when you don't really have these experiences in life, to kind of shape you into being a strong, leader that can be effective in doing the job as county legislator that represents various sections of different cities, Mount Vernon, Yonkers. I'm not sure if it's Bronxville also, maybe, but definitely Yonkers and Mount Vernon, right? And there's people that depend on you, right, as a legislator, grown ass people, you know what I mean? A lot of smart people, a lot of successful people that depend on you. Yet, you haven't quite been there, done that, and it's had those experiences, and so there's got to be somebody guiding you or something. I don't know. I just think the lack of experience will not, in life in general, the lack of life experience. Shit, my parents at least gave me the guest room. Yeah, you had it even better than me, brother. We didn't have no guest room. You know what I mean? We didn't have no room. It was no room. Get in where you fit in. and I love it because, that's life, and I can look back, thank God. And, and that just shows that anything's possible in life. You got to work hard, right? You got to believe in it, and you got to be confident. You got to go for it, man. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. That's why I don't care what people have said to me, in regards to the podcast, whether fake page or I knew who the person was. Whatever negative things they said about me, I never took that to heart because, man, listen, this is nothing. I don't care what you call me. I've been through worse in life, and helps you to make it out of there. Helps you develop the confidence and the resiliency, to withstand a lot of things in life. So, folks, really quick before I get up off here, I wanted to just talk about the term limit extension. Right, as we know, the judges upheld the initial judge's decision, right, up in Westchester, up in White Plains. The Brooklyn judges in the 9th Judicial Court upheld it. They basically upheld the Yonkers City Council's decision, or the majority of them decision, to extend term limits for themselves, as well as the mayor, allow Mayor Mike Spano to run again for another 4 years. I just want to play this audio really quick. Where's the play button?
Appellate court ruling has upheld a lower court ruling that the term limits extension vote by the Yonkers City Council was legal. Now, this appellate court ruling upholds an extension to term limits for city council members and the mayor from 3 to 4 terms. This is a major win for current Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano in his push to seek an unprecedented 4th term. In the ruling, the appellate court found that any member of the general public can theoretically benefit from an extension of term limits and no candidate is guaranteed an election victory. The lawyer representing the plaintiffs in this term limits case say the case will most likely now head to the
Four
State
more
Court of
years,
Appeals.
Erwin. 4 more years, Erwin. 4 more years. That's my cousin Erwin Vasquez right there. 4 more years, Erwin. You know, it's unfortunate what politics in Yonkers here, it does to people. I mean, it does to families. You know, and it's not unique. It's not unique to my family, right? And honestly, this has even been going on before I got involved in politics with my family. The Vasquez have been divided over political issues in the past, you know, and I didn't understand it, you know, what was going on. And then I'm getting into it and now I see that. And this is my cousin right here, this guy. You know what you did? That was a bad move, Erwin. Why would you do that to me, man? Well, who else was with you? Well, the family members did it with you, you know, because it's messed up, you know. This guy was involved in putting out that video, you know, and it affected us. You know, parents would come up to us and ask me about it. You know, they put a video out on Yonkers Voice where we were assaulted. We were attacked by 3 individuals who came to the daycare center before we had opened up as a daycare center. We were just actually, you know, getting all the stuff in, delivered, you know, doing whatever construction, and that they came and attacked us. And there was a video recorded. It was a family thing. It was a family thing. And so Erwin and some other family members got it over to the Yonkers Voice. They put it out. And the narrative was that I beat up a parent. That's what they said. They put the video, by the time they put it out, was already 2 years old, right? And then they said it had just happened the day before they put it out, which is already 2 years old, and that I beat up a parent, right? And then I didn't beat anyone up. In fact, I got beat up. I got injured, but I didn't press any charges because it was a family thing. And, you know, that's how it goes in family things. You go through things and you don't press charges, you know, right? You just want to just never talk to that family member again. But little did I know that they, one of the individuals that attacked us did some video, and it came out, and unfortunately this guy did it, and it's sad. So I want to know, who was that? Who else was my, you know, when family members, they'll call to ask you for help, you know, and you come and you help, and then look what happens. And then when you need the help, you know, none of them went on Yonkers Voice, said, no, that's not what happened. He didn't beat up a parent. That had nothing to do with parents. That was a family thing. You know, that's just how it is. We are appealing. We stood up. Yeah, and I was going to mention that. We are appealing. We stood up for what we believed in. The entire political system is corrupt. At least 12 people with different political beliefs could agree on one thing: term limits. I'm glad that they had to work so hard to get it. Also, I believe in the 4th term curse. They should be careful what they wish for. There are too many people digging. Yeah, you know, you've been mentioning a lot about the 4th term curse, and you know what? John Cater has been mentioning a lot about the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as if he knows something that I don't know. You know, who knows? I mean, the way things were done were very obvious. And this is what I said from the very beginning to our lovely minority women of color that sit on the council. And that's just what I always said from the very beginning. And Lakeisha, you know, Miss Bellamy, that I came and said to you, be careful, yo, you know, watch yourself. I was wanting to see you do well. You know that. There was never no ill will, no negative feelings, hard feelings, anything towards you, right? I just wanted to see good things, right? And I told you, and you guys are not as savvy, right, because of your lack of experience in this realm, right? And some just are not that intellectually, you know, astute, right? Or politically astute, but intellectually, right? Like I don't even say, but they don't have this experience, they don't have this knowledge, and therefore you know, guys can be easily manipulated, you know, kind of influenced, or manipulated, as I said, into doing things that maybe are not, you know, legal, or and could lead to investigations and stuff. You know, I said be careful with that stuff. You know, I mean, the way that you guys did some of the things that you guys have been doing, particularly with these zoning changes. I mean, you're changing these zoning laws like there's nobody's business. Now you're starting to see more people, start to speak out about it, right? You got community members that, do not want these developments going up in certain neighborhoods, and they're coming out and they're rallying. And just wait till it starts moving over to the east side, Joan, because it will. I know you see, mostly developments over in the northwest side, but it's going to go over to the east side for sure. But the appellate court rules Yonkers term limits, that's right. And I know you guys are going to appeal it. I know that. But I don't think you're going to win, Carolyn. And I'm not being negative. I support you guys. I do, but I just don't think you're going to win because it just, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Right. We're talking about the charter, the city charter, municipal home rule. Right. We're talking about municipal home rule. You guys know what that is. And I'll discuss it a little bit. Home rule in the United States is an authority of a constituent part of the U.S. state to exercise powers of governance delegated to it by its state government, right? And they're referring to the local government, which is, has it delegated to them, right? So in some states known as home rule states, which New York is one, the state's constitution grants municipalities and or counties the ability to pass laws to govern themselves as they see fit, so long as they obey the state and federal constitution, right? As long as it, it doesn't violate that, and it goes along with it. Local governments, mayors, the county legislators, as well as council people can, create laws, right, for their local towns. They can't create a law, let's say, like it's okay to rob a bank, right? That's basically what I mean. But they can create, a law that will give bank robbers more time, let's say, right, than maybe the state would, or something like that. So in these states, a city or county must obtain permission from the state legislator if it wishes to pass a law or ordinance which is not specifically permitted under existing state legislation, right? Let me move down here. So that's municipal home rule. This is part of what Michael Sussman has introduced in his argument in the term limit lawsuit, right? He's basically stating that they have benefited by changing or by amending the charter, right? By extending the term limits, the city council, in effect, gave them a benefit, right? The benefit of running for another term, right? But what I'm saying, and why, Carolyn, I say I don't believe that it's going to work, is because there is not a direct benefit. There's not now, if they extended the term limits and that automatically, if they amended the charter and that amendment automatically gave Mike Spano the win and it gave themselves the win for the next election, then yes. But because they still have to go through an election, and it's not guaranteed that he will get the fourth term, there's not a direct benefit. And that's what the judges are saying, right? And also that it benefits everyone, right? So other people now who may run for office, if they win, they could, go for 4 terms if they like to, right? So that's why I say that. And just in reading the language, and if they're going to stick to the language, right? And that's what I always talk about with people when I do contracts with them in business, why, even if we're friends or family, because I say it doesn't matter. It's not about I don't trust you. It's just that we can always go back and refer to the contract. So if you're not confused, or maybe I'm confused, or we forgot, or whatever, the contract doesn't forget. It's right there, and we can read it, and that is what it is, right? And so that's what they're gonna go by. That it is what it is. And unfortunately, I'm sorry. I know you guys, want this. We win because 12 very strong people came together and stood. Yeah, it's definitely symbolic for something we believed in. I'm proud to be a part of this group. There are over 200,000 people in this city, and until others want to fight or vote, there will not be change. But Carolyn, the thing about the thing is, I'm proud of some of you. I'm not, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. But there were some people in the group that were opportunists, and let's just be honest. They were opportunists. And what that did was that took away from the credibility in a lot of people's eyes. I mean, they, and it made it to where it can be criticized and ridiculed, right? And that's what I didn't like, right? These are individuals that have been around for a long time now, right? They've been involved, engaged in a long time, and some of them are even responsible for the whole term limit extension to begin with. They have some responsibility, and now here they are, on a lawsuit against it. Come on. Right. And so I'm proud that people in general are speaking out, right? Just in general, whether it be on this podcast, or, in other podcasts or shows or whatever, other outlets and pages, and people are even posting on their own pages on Facebook and on Instagram and Nextdoor app. You see Ron Matten doing his thing or whatever with this post. And that's what I'm happy to see. I'm proud that more people are, and it's going to slowly, snowball. It takes time, but it's good to see people out there, right? But again, we have to be the ones to make the difference, and we do that by being vocal, encouraging everyone to come out, and being consistent, right? Because the lawsuit, for one, it costs money, but it wasn't really like even from the beginning, I didn't see it to be, it was going to work, be definite, right? I just, based on what I'm saying right now, right? And also, they have judges in their control. And I know these are, different judges outside the world, but, in White Plains, they have judges, obviously here in the city of Yonkers. So that also kind of made me a little like, I don't know. We have to be the ones to come and vote. We have to make noise. We have to be out there, and we have to show up to meetings. We have to know what's going on. We have to know what they're talking about at those meetings, right? We have to know what they're going to be voting on. So that's important. And if, and we can't just only care about one. And I like what Margaret Fountain Coleman said. We cannot just care about one side of town, right? Or our side of town, right? We have to care about all sides of town, because when they're doing it on one side, if we don't nip it in the bud, then they're going to come to your side. And at that point, they've already done it once, twice, and it's going to be even more difficult. And so together, right, we also are stronger. So if you just leave that one-sided fight, they're going to need your help. They're going to be weaker. Then when it's your time, when you want to fight it, because now it's in your neighborhood, in your backyard, they're not going to be on your side, the other side, right? But we could have been together, right? And so this is what's important, why we need to be a united Yonkers. Yes, some of us live on the east side. Some of us live on the west side. Some of us are white. Some of us are black. Some of us are Hispanic. Some of us are Asian. Some of us, if I left you out, I'm sorry, right? And some of us live at or below the poverty line, and some of us have a mansion. But we still live in this city, right? We still live in this community. The majority of us don't have the mansions, right? And a lot of our kids go to the public schools, so we have to care, right? How many of you who send your kids to a private school would love to save that money? Would love to send them to the Yonkers public schools, but you want your kid to get a great education, and you just don't feel confident with the YPS. And I'm sorry to the school board of trustees if you dislike me for some of the things I say about the schools. It's not against you guys, please. I'm sorry. I like some of you, okay? But, right, wouldn't you love to save that money? So we improve the Yonkers public schools, you can save the money. You don't have to send them to private school, right? I went to a public high school that blows out even the private schools here. So imagine what we can do. We could really make this happen. So we have to stick together. We have to come out and vote, right? We have to be involved. We have to know what's going on. We have to know what they're looking to do right away, as soon as possible. We have to read the minutes. We have to go online, maybe form coalitions in different districts, right? So we can have a person that has a job to do this, and then spread it out to everybody else. Create a newsletter in your district, District 4 newsletter, District 5 newsletter, District 1 newsletter, to inform the people what's going on. Not everyone has the ability to go to the meetings, so we can designate a person or two to alternate, go to the meetings, make notes, spread the word. We have to work together, and we better start learning how to do this, because soon it's going to get wild. Some of us may still be here when it happens. We're going to really have to learn how to work together. My reasoning and what it was done is all come, if you will have me, that said, yeah, I've absolutely always. Laws in this city only apply to residents. The city council keeps changing rules that don't fit the administration's agenda. That is very dangerous. An example is Sam Borelli and the housing department. Oh, thank you for saying that before I get up out of here. And I'm about to hit an hour. Thank you for saying that. Sam Borelli and the housing department. People can get hurt in the future, and who will be held accountable? Again, they now have a spotlight on them like never before. Yes. So you have to, at the very least, say, hey, we have a victory here. There's a win. There was a win, right? And it takes time. Things take time. I've learned that. I was one of those people I wanted like this, but it takes time. And we've made progress. We've made progress. And I hope that at least my podcast, people will continue to watch. More and more people will watch. And we can start to bring ourselves together and be one. All the districts, right? All the districts. I represent all of you here on the podcast, right? Doesn't matter what district you live in. And we unite and start to, come together and stand up for the things that we, take issue with, right? We have to do it together. And here I hope to continue to bring the information. So at the very least, if you can't get to a meeting, if there was no one at a meeting, at least here you'll have some of the important information. Speaking of Sam Borelli, before I get the hell up out of here, I hear the ice cream truck. I love that sound. I love Mr. Softy, and that always takes me back, right? Love it. Before I leave, I want to just say this, Carolyn, you're absolutely right. Today I was over on Ashburton and Warburton over there. Actually, Ashburn and Woolworth, right? Not too far from where they want to put those two towers up. The old meat market there. I forgot what it's called. Something Max Bronze and Sons Meat Market. Some of the top of the building collapsed, falling onto a parked car, destroying the car. Thank God there was nobody walking by, because it would have killed them based on the damage it did to the car. There wasn't any sidewalk sheds. A man was telling me that there were individuals over the weekend working there to do some demo, taking things out of the building because they're going to be bringing that building down. And I spoke about that same building earlier in the year. They were forced closed. They basically were told, if you don't close and sell your business, sell the property, I should say, to the Lionsgate guys, then we're going to make you do all kinds of crazy things to the buildings. We're going to make you knock it down and rebuild it, right? And so they didn't want to deal with that. After 70 years, left to Jersey. Now the new owners, which I would imagine is Lionsgate, had some guys there over the weekend, according to this gentleman. He felt that they weren't doing whatever it was they were doing in a proper manner. Well, I guess he was right, because some of that building fell. Where's the sidewalk sheds? This is what our building inspectors, our building department is supposed to be doing and assuring that they have these things up. Yet, they're not. And it's obvious. And what are we going to wait for? Until someone dies? Someone gets killed because we have unqualified individuals in the building department, people who are political, who are used to harass other individuals, because they harassed the shit out of me over a banner that, if it fell, would hurt no one, damage nothing. And many people and businesses have put up just little display banners, right? Like you have a picnic or a family reunion type of thing, until we were getting our sign, the permanent one, and they kept harassing us over that. That was one of the issues, right? That the landlord had. But maybe that's why you didn't notice that there were no sidewalk sheds over here, because you were too busy being political, Sam. Sam Borelli came from DPW. He's not a licensed engineer. He shouldn't have gotten the job. About a year or two ago, he wouldn't have been able to qualify for the position. But thanks to our laziest councilman, Mike Breen, another one who has done nothing, whose legislations are stupid, one of them being, let's reduce the requirement for the position of the building department commissioner. Yeah, no, they don't have to be a licensed engineer. They don't have to know none of that stuff. We just need a good manager. Could have hired anyone from any one of these fast food restaurants then, I guess, huh? Hire the McDonald's manager. So, with the legislation passed by the brilliant and old wise one, Mike Breen, to reduce the requirement, they reduced it, because the rest of the silly council, who may have an IQ or two more than Mike Breen, approved it. None of them said, wait a minute, could this be a problem? Could this put, our residents in danger. I mean, a lot of developments are going to be going up. Maybe we ought to increase the requirements, right? Maybe that's what we need, since we're getting so many damn developments going up so fast, right? So why did they reduce the requirement? Because it's political, and they wanted to bring in Sam Borelli from DPW. That's right, DPW, to be the commissioner of the building department here in the city of Yonkers, and he's political. Again, they utilize him to harass me and delay me. That's a fact, Sam. It's a fact, Sam. I know it, and I will always say it, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to always tell you that. I believe you did that. 1,000%. Are you going to harass the people who were doing the work there, where parts of the building collapsed into somebody's car as they had it parked? Sucked to wake up and see your car in that condition. Where was the sidewalk shed, Sam? Why wasn't there sidewalk shed, Sam? Say that fast. Sidewalk shed, Sam? Why? But you sent 4 people to do a surprise inspection at my daycare. 4 people. Rolled up on me like they were the warrant squad and threatened me every which way for no reason. This is what they do in Yonkers. That's how it's political. Everything. Mike Breen introduced that legislation because he was told to. Because they wanted to bring Sam Borelli to head the building department. Because they knew they would never find a licensed engineer to sign off on a lot of that shit. So they're going to bring one of their lackeys over, right? And I'm going to say this to you, Sam, because I don't like you, Sam, what you did. Bring one of the lackeys over to sit there and just do whatever they tell them to, including harass certain businesses and homeowners who won't sell. That's what they're doing. That's what they did to Max Braun. That's what they did to several homeowners along Warburton and Woodworth. They are harassing business owners, property owners, homeowners, so they will sell. And they're doing that through the building department, so that's why they needed a lackey that would do it, like Sam Borelli, who once ran for mayor himself with no luck. I guess there was no Mike Breen there to change the law so that you can automatically become mayor if your name is Sam Borelli. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Have a beautiful rest of the week.
Freddie wins.
You're watching Basement You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
In her recent State of the State address, New York Governor Kathy Hochul became the latest in a long line of politicians to call for term limits of elected officials. That banging sound you may have heard immediately following the speech is the heads of political scientists and government reformers across the country reacting to her plea.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality. Freddie wins.